Hello everyone, my name is Joni and welcome to Love Qualified, a ministry that is dedicated to encouraging others to experience the sovereign love of the one true God who has qualified us to be his beloved ones. On this channel we talk about faith, entrepreneurship and lifestyle. I am a physician associate, but I'm also an author. I have published 4 books, 1 poetry devotional and 3 contemporary Christian romance novels. I recently released my 3rd contemporary Christian romance novel called The One Who Sees Me, and today I'm going to be talking all about the book release and how it went. For the first 2 books in this romance series, I did a video like this where I just sat down and I talked to you guys about the book release, the different things that I did, the different marketing strategies that I tried, and how I thought that it went. So we're going to be doing the same thing for this book. I'll leave the links to the previous videos up here or here, the one for my debut novel and also the video for my second novel, so I'll just leave those links if you want to go and watch those ones to compare and see how those releases went. So I'm just looking down because I've got my laptop here and I've got my outline. I don't want to ramble. Hopefully this video will be straight to the point, so let's crack on. The very first thing I want to talk about is my book launch team, or my ARC team, but I call them my book launch team. Now this book, I set it up for pre-order in December 2022. That's when I released the title to my newsletter subscribers, and from then on they were able to add it to Goodreads, and I told them that it was up for pre-order, so people were able to pre-order it. And if on my book launch team, I only recruited people who were subscribed to my newsletter. For previous releases, the first 2 books, I had recruited people, like I had announced it publicly on social media, like on my Instagram and on TikTok. And yes, I had like 20 people or so sign up, but actually in the end, there were a lot of people who read the book and they didn't, like some people they either didn't download the book and didn't read it, or they downloaded it and never heard from them, and I didn't form like a proper connection with them. And I just felt like I preferred readers who were a bit more engaging, readers who I knew that they were invested in my journey, and readers who I knew that if they read it, they were definitely going to go on to leave a review, if not on Amazon, then at least on Goodreads, or at least share about it on their social media platforms. So I went for a much smaller pool this time around. I think there were only about 10 or so. I will leave the actual number on the screen, the total number of people who actually signed up through my newsletter, and they joined the book launch team. They were very, very, very supportive. I enjoyed working with them, and I think that from now on I will continue using people just from my newsletter. Hopefully, as the newsletter continues to grow, the hope is that the people who are on there actually invested enough in my journey to commit to joining the book launch team, because obviously it's something that you don't pay the readers for. They're offering their free time to help you reveal the cover and to read your book, and if they want to, they choose to, then they leave a review. It's not obligatory, so I think it will be better to pick from a pool of people who are invested. And if somebody gives you their email address to say, yes, please email me, then that means that they're interested in you enough, interested in what you have to say, for them to trust you with their email address. I think that that's a lot better, so I think that's what I'm going to do from now on. So moving on to cover reveal day, and like I said in my behind the scenes vlog, if you've watched it, I'll leave the link up here if you haven't. In the behind the scenes vlog, I said that during cover reveal day, I think that was the same day as the coronation, the king's coronation, I think. It went okay. I mean, I had about 5 or so people share the book on social media, 5 or 6 people share on social media. It didn't seem any different from any other day. I suppose perhaps because I've done this so many times before, this is like the 3rd time I'm doing this, I didn't feel as excited for this cover reveal as I have done for the other 2 cover reveals. But obviously it was great. Like I loved the fact that the people from the book launch team were supportive, and obviously revealing the cover and setting everything up for pre-order, that helped to push more pre-orders, especially for signed copies. But I didn't feel that excited about this one, and it wasn't for any particular reason. I just didn't feel as excited for this cover reveal. I just released the cover and I was like, well, yeah, it's just another one. So I suppose I'm just sort of like getting used to the thing. So yeah, I don't know. Now when it comes to pre-orders, so like I said, I set up pre-orders for the one who sees me since December last year, and obviously that long pre-order time, I don't know whether if I had only set it up for the 1 month, which I've been doing for the last 2 times, whether that would have made a difference. So all in all, we had about 31 pre-orders, which is one more than what we had for the One Who Loves Me. The thing about the One Who Loves Me is that I had set up Barnes & Noble pre-orders for the One Who Loves Me. So we actually had some pre-orders from that. And we only sold about 4 signed copies for the One Who Loves Me release. For this time around, for the One Who Sees Me, I only got 6 signed copies. I didn't buy 10 like I normally do. I bought 6 for whatever reason, I don't know. And we sold 4 signed copies. Like we had 4 signed copy pre-orders. You guys might have, if you've watched my behind the scenes publishing vlog and the release day vlog, you would know that I wasn't able to set up the Barnes & Noble pre-orders, like the paperback pre-orders, because I didn't submit my tax form on time, which was supposed to be submitted in April, and so they took a long time to set that up. And then I had troubles like uploading it, and then in the end, when they had fixed it and I was able to upload it, that it was too close to release day, so I couldn't actually put the book up for pre-order. So the book just was published on release day. If the book had been published from, had been put up for pre-order like I normally do, I have a feeling I probably would have had some pre-orders through Barnes & Noble, and then the pre-order number would have been up. But like I said, the deed is done now. It's a mistake that I have learned from. Hopefully next year I will make sure that I submit all my tax forms early enough. So that was my fault. So yeah, we didn't have any paperback pre-orders through Barnes & Noble, and I don't set up paperback pre-orders through Ingram Spark. I've heard so many horror stories about using Ingram Spark for pre-orders, so I'm not going to put myself through that stress. I did not go through that this time around, so I only did ebook pre-orders via Amazon and also Draft Digital. So that's all that I did. The other thing about Barnes & Noble was that I ended up having to use 2 ISBNs just because I don't know what happened. I still can't explain to you what exactly happened, but the initial ISBN I had submitted, they now told me that because I had published the book on Amazon, that the book was already available, so they wanted me to use another ISBN. So I ended up having to use another ISBN just to put the book on Barnes & Noble. So on Barnes & Noble, the paperback has a different ISBN, and on Ingram Spark and KDP, the paperbacks have a different ISBN. Listen, I it was just getting like that really stressed me out, but I sorted that out. I don't care that I had to use 3 ISBNs. The main thing is that it's all up on Barnes & Noble now, it's up on all those other sites. So I think I'm over it. I was very annoyed by that I had to use an extra ISBN for no reason. Like, they just didn't. But anyway, like I said, it was all my fault. I should have uploaded things earlier, and I most likely would not have landed in that trouble. So I learned from my mistake, okay? Because that was an extra cost, and obviously I'll talk about it in the future when I talk about how much I spent publishing this book. Having to use an extra ISBN for that was unnecessary. That added to the cost of publishing the book. So that's okay. I'm over it now. I promise I am. Then I think for BAM Books was okay. I was able to upload the book on there and things were fine. And then by release day, the book was up. So I had no problems with BAM Books. I had no problems with KDP. I had no problems with Draft Digital. I had no problems with Ingram Spark, actually. So the problem I had was with Barnes & Noble and Okada Books. Okada Books gave me so much headache. It was horrible. Like, it was a horrible experience. I had to literally speak to an author friend of mine, Tokwa Motosho. She's been on live stream with me before. She was on live stream with me when I released my second novel. She's a Nigerian author who also publishes on Okada Books and BAM Books. So these 2 sites are Nigerian publishers, like publishing sites, and BAM Books is quite straightforward. Okada Books, sometimes they can just do your head in. The very first problem I had with Okada Books was that I was not able to access the author portal. Like, I have my author portal where I go on there, sign in, I upload my books, and then I can see like sales and things, just the same way we have the KDP dashboard. I could not access my Okada Books author dashboard. I kept trying to sign in and it would tell me that the site was down, or that the site just kept crashing. So I had to send an angry email to them. I was like, look, it's getting close to release day. Even on release day, also, like, I could not, the book was not uploaded to Okada Books because I couldn't access it. And I sent an angry, frustrated email to them. I was like, there are readers waiting to get the book. Why is it crashing? And so they responded. They were quite quick to respond, actually. They responded to me after a few hours saying, oh, we're really sorry, the site should be up and running now. So I went on there and the site was up and running. I was able to upload the books, okay, and I published it and it was fine. It took, I think on the same day it was published. That was fine and good. Now, the first few readers that were able to download the books, that was all fine and good. And then I even had somebody that said, oh, I've downloaded the book, I'm going to start reading it. Then the comments that are coming in, like somebody commented on there, said, oh, I've downloaded the book, but it tells me there's an error, I can't read it. And then another person also messaged me on TikTok and was like, comment on my videos on TikTok, and they were like, I've paid for the book, but I can't download it. And then I realized that actually the formatting that I used, the vellum formatting, didn't go with Android users. So the way that they had set it up on Okada Books was that if you upload all the formatting stuff that you've done on vellum on Okada Books, only people who had Android phones were able to successfully download and open it and see the nice, beautiful formatting that I had done on vellum. People with Android phones, Android users, or Android tablets or phones or whatever, they weren't able to access that. I messaged Okada Books and tried to get them to help me. Never got a response from them, never. So I messaged a friend of mine, Tokwe, and I asked, I was like, what programming do you use to format your books? When I started realizing that it might be a formatting issue, because it's not my fault. Like, they should be able to fix their site to a point where you shouldn't be having these problems, because vellum is something that a lot of people use. So why would that be a problem? Anyway, so my friend recommended Readsy. So Readsy has a free formatting software. She says that's what she uses, and that usually works well with Okada Books. So now I had to take my book files, upload them onto Readsy, and then create an EPUB file from there, and then re-upload it to Okada Books. And then after doing that, I then told those people who weren't able to download to go back and try, delete the book and try adding it again. And when they did that, they were now able to download it. So that was really, really, really annoying, because that took me like a whole week to figure out, and I was getting really frustrated, and I made up my mind that I wasn't going to use Okada Books ever again. But thank God. So thank you, Tokwe, if you're watching this. I appreciate you. This is why it's good to have like a community of other author friends, because you can learn from each other. At least now I know. So next time, because I know this happened with my second book as well, so I went back and did the same thing for my other two books, and I've re-uploaded it into the newly formatted file just for Okada Books, because it works fine on BAM-Books and it works fine everywhere else. It's just on Okada Books. So that was very, very annoying, and that took a lot of my time, and I was very frustrated about that. And that's something that did not happen with the other releases. So anyway, everything's all fine now. I learned my lesson. Next time I know that when I'm going to upload on Okada Books, I'm not going to format the files on vellum. I'll format it separately on Readsy just for Okada Books. So now on release day, obviously this is one thing that I think really made me I was annoyed by that this happened on release day. This was another sort of fail or whatever, something that happened on release day, something that did not go to plan. I had planned to do a book sale for the ebook for the first novel. So I had planned to do a 99 pence book sale, and I had paid for newsletter promos, and I'd also planned to reduce the book the price to $1.99 for the second novel for release day only, so that it would encourage people to buy the first book, go and buy the second book, and then buy the third book. So I wanted the first ebook to be 99 pence, second one $1.99, and then the third one $2.99, just for release day, and then I was going to change the prices afterwards. This time around, I did not take, so I usually take time off the week of release, the day of release. So the last two releases, I have not been working on release day, because I know there's a lot of things to put together. But this time around, unfortunately, because I had just recently started a new job, I couldn't take time off during that time. So it was a Tuesday. I was working a long shift that day. I was working from 8 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. That's why, if you guys realized, I was working That's why if you guys realize, I did the release day live stream on the Wednesday, which was the day when I'm off. Like, I don't work on Wednesdays. So this time around, because I was working a long shift, I completely forgot to reduce the prices to 99p and 1.99, and I only realized at the end of the day. Like, at the end of the day after work, when I was going home from work, that's when I realized that I had actually paid for a newsletter promo and I did not reduce the price. So as soon as I realized, I went and reduced the prices, and I left it on to like the end of the, for a few more days. But obviously, because the newsletters for the newsletter promo had gone out that day, I don't know whether people would have gone back and checked to see whether the prices had been released. I did get a few sales from that, but obviously because the prices weren't released, I didn't get as many sales as I did when I did the newsletter promo for my second novel back in May, when I did it 1 year anniversary. So that was really, really annoying. That was another annoying thing that really happened this release, that again, I should have done like a checklist, but there was just so many things going on that week with work and everything. And this is the thing about running a business when you're working a full-time job, there's just so much to do and so much to consider. That was very frustrating when I realized that I did not run that sale. It was a big flop. But anyway, I thank God that I was still able to get some sales, and I give God all the glory. I've learned from my mistake, and I know that from now on I am going to make sure I take the few days before release and day after release day off, because there's so much that goes into planning a book release, and I need to make sure that I've checked all everything on my checklist. I've learned from this. Next time I am going to make sure that I absolutely take time off work, which I've been doing before. So yeah, that was another thing that flopped, but we thank God because I've learned from it. But then a week later, that same day, I think the same day of release, I had the amazing opportunity to feature on the Because Fiction podcast with Shatona Havoc. She's also a Christian fiction author of over 200 titles or 300 titles. And it was an amazing opportunity when I got back from work. Because of the time difference, the interview was scheduled for around 11 p.m. And I had an amazing conversation with her about God's sovereign love and my books. And that was a marketing strategy, free marketing strategy. I just reached out to her and she accepted, that I had never actually tried before. It was for the exposure, and again, just to put the message of the ministry out there and to put the word of my books out there. I don't know how much that helped with book sales, but I'm glad for the exposure, because I had some people who actually followed me after listening to that podcast. So I make, connections. It's all about connections and networking, which is great. So that was a really great experience for me, and I really enjoyed that, and I'm glad that I was able to do that. That's how the book release went altogether in the month of June. So the number of books that we sold in June, so from the 6th of June, including pre-order, so from when the book released on the 6th of June till the end of June, so the 30th of June, we sold 106 copies, which is amazing. I remember when I published The One Who Knows Me in September 2021, I published The One Who Knows Me on the 10th of September, and by the end of September we had sold 45 copies. So to go from 45 to 106, that's a huge thing. And book sales after 1 month was about 115 copies. So from like 6th of June to like the 6th of July, it was about 115 copies. And at the moment, we are currently, I think today is the 16th of July, we have sold 139 copies. That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm so glad. I'm so happy for every single person who has bought, who has, supported this book. I am so glad. We've got 15 ratings on Goodreads at the moment and 11 reviews. And we've got 10 ratings on Amazon UK, 8 ratings on Amazon.com. I'm going to read you my favorite review, which is from Amazon UK. It is from somebody who has read the whole series, and they said, from reading all the books, I would say this is classed as being top in my Christian fiction recommendations for series or even standalone books. I love how there were serious moments in the books, but yet good and fun times in it. So easy to read and can flow through the book with ease. I would definitely say read this book and the previous ones before. I can't wait for more books in the future. We'll be patiently waiting for them. Thank you so much for everybody who has read this book, who has bought this book. I really appreciate you. The One Who Sees Me was a book that I struggled a bit to edit because of the lots of new things that I was tackling. But I'm so happy and so grateful to God that this book is finally out in the world. It took a lot out of me to write this book and to publish it, but I'm very confident in the message that God laid on my heart. And Emmanuel and Heather's story, that's the story that God gave me. It's a story about faith, a story about forgiveness, healing, and freedom. And I pray that if you do decide to pick up this book and read it, that it will encourage you and that it will bless you as well, that you'll be able to relate to the characters and the themes in the book, and that above all, it would encourage you to experience the sovereign love of God who loves you very, very, very much. So we are halfway to getting the money back, the money that we spent on the one who knows me. Oh, sorry, on the one who sees me. We're halfway there. We're not there yet, but we're halfway there. But anyway, that's how the book release went in a nutshell. Like I said, there were a lot of bumps, and you would see that more if you watch the behind the scenes vlog. But we got there in the end. The book is out there in the world, and I give God all the glory because the testimonies have been great so far. So yeah, if you have any questions about my writing journey, my author journey, faith, entrepreneurship, lifestyle, anything about, you know, book releases, anything that you want to know about my process or my publishing process, then please leave a comment down below and I'll be more than happy to answer. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video encouraged you, and remember that the sovereign love of God has qualified you to be his beloved one. Have a wonderful day and God bless you. Mwah. Bye.